All right. Game of the year winner is Elden Ring.
I didn't intend on this happening. I guess it's just a fortunate coincidence. Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree just released, and much like when the base game came out in 2022, it's overshadowed, no pun intended, everything else. One of those games Elden Ring took all the hype from was the primary subject of this video, Horizon Forbidden West. I actually really like Forbidden West. Its characters, to a degree, story, enemy variety, locations, and its visuals are stunning. It does do some things that annoyed me a little, like constantly holding my hand through the experience and giving me tips on how to do things near the end of the game that I had already learned in the tutorial level. Its score was a mixed bag for me. On the one hand, the blend of natural orchestral instruments and modern electronic sounds was exactly what I would expect for the game's setting. However, I had hoped the intensity of the music would pick up considerably more than it did for some enemies, specifically bosses like the snake-like machine. Putting Horizon to one side for the moment and turning our attention to Elden Ring, what a drastic change of tone, gameplay, storytelling, boss design. As of making this video, I'm about 30 hours in and at Renala, Queen of the Full Moon. I have no issues with the game, no faults to find. Its difficulty is so high, but so fair, and the customization of your playable Tarnished is excellent, not only visually, but also in how you can mix and match weapons and armor to create the perfect build for your playstyle. It doesn't hold your hand, gives you the freedom to explore and find your own way, come back to certain bosses when you're ready. On top of that, its score is perfect. The ambient music for exploration of the world fits like a glove. Music to accompany minor bosses, such as the Tree Sentinel, is perfect, but the music for major bosses, such as Godric, Margit, or Renala, serves its purpose in more ways than one. It hypes you up for the fight with the enemy, but in a sense also tells their story through instrumentation, dynamics, rhythm, and/or melody. Here's an example in Lich Dragon Fortisax, and then Mog, Lord of Blood. If I'm being honest, I actually got the idea for this video from the boss fight with Regala's champion fighter. His katana and energy shield paired with his speed and dexterity reminded me of gameplay in Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. I initially aimed to emulate that style of soundtrack for the video, until I progressed further and came across the big high damage, high health machine enemies, and I figured an Elden Ring inspired score would probably make more sense as machines appear much more often than human enemies. So, with this in mind, I'm not trying to create a theme for certain machines. However, I did aim to showcase the imposing aspect and importance these boss tracks portray. For instrumentation, I opted for solely orchestral sounds, with direct Elden Ring references in my use of tubular bells and timpani. The specific piece I composed here doesn't fit the Horizon setting whatsoever, especially not when Aloy shit talks almost all of the machines she's against. But I think if Guerrilla decided to draw inspiration from Doom and take Aloy into a slightly more medieval setting for the next game, which I highly doubt they would, but then this type of music would be a better fit. If you're already familiar with the soundtracks of Dark Souls and Elden Ring, you may notice in my piece here a significant lack of choir. After doing some research, I found that Demon's Souls soundtrack used less choir than the later Dark Souls games. Whilst that is part of the reason why I didn't use any, the biggest reason is that I don't possess any good choir sample libraries or virtual instruments, and additionally, I'm not friends with any choir members to call on for help with projects like this. Anyway, all things considered, here is my interpretation of Elden Ring music in Horizon Forbidden West.